I'm Olivia, and today I'm here with Denise from the LGBTQIA Society. She's the treasurer, and we are on Stag Studios. Yes.
Should I just say hi?
Yes.
Hello. Hi.
Introduce yourself.
Sorry for the awkward silence.
Oh, yeah, introduce yourself. Tell me a bit about yourself. Just obviously your pronouns, how you identify, anything you'd like.
Okay, my name is Denise. As you said, I'm the treasurer of the LGBTQ Society. I'm also the treasurer of the Law Society, so I do a bit too much. But yeah, I identify as pansexual. My pronouns are she, her. And just here really have to have a conversation about queer women.
Perfect. And for the audience listening, I identify as a lesbian and my pronouns are she, her. So I thought we'd start to talk about last month's celebration with the LGBTQIA Society and all the events you put on. If you'd like to speak to me about that, I personally could not attend many, but I would love to hear about all of them that you did, or as many as you could.
No, that's okay. So we did a bit of a student curator project with Luana, the VP, VP Voice. Yeah. And basically we just had a bunch of events. Everyone kind of contributed something. Mm-hmm. So what I did was mostly the library, like the curator display.
Yes, I loved that.
Yeah. So the PowerPoint, the books that we chose, etc., like the prize draw, everything. So that was kind of my responsibility. But then we also had some sort of like parade in like outside the Hive.
Oh yeah.
We were supposed to do a Rubik's takeover, but then just conflicting schedules, it didn't really happen. But that was one of the other things that we really wanted to do. And then we also had somebody come in talking about like the queer history in Guildford. Oh, wow. So that was a little bit of like a really, 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 really interesting piece of history talk.
Wow, was that like a people came and listened, or was it just like your society? It was like within your society, someone came in and spoke to you all?
No, we had like an actual like person. She was from the Guildford like library.
Oh wow.
She came in and just kind of gave us like a whole speech about the Guildford queer history.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, it actually sounds like you've done a lot, and it sounds like the month went really well. I feel like sounds really good. And then I wanted to speak to you about what's your opinion on the differences that queer women face in today's day and age? Like, do you feel like different queer women face different struggles depending on how they represent and like their race and things?
Absolutely. I think, like you said, race is one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge intersectionality when it comes to, sexuality and race, even gender, So it definitely changes depending on how you present yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a queer woman of colour, there is a lot more issues that would come up than if I wasn't. Yeah. And not only that, but like you said, even the way that you identify, I think there is no difference in terms of one is worse than the other.
Yeah, no.
In terms of like, pansexual women and lesbians. But I think they're both so explicitly different experiences that you can't really undermine one or the other.
Yeah, you can't just group all queer women together.
Exactly.
Everyone has a different struggle.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's a huge spectrum.
Yeah.
So even, for example, like myself, as much as, it has been a bit of a struggle coming into terms with my sexuality, mostly because, my background in terms of like my community, they're not very queer friendly.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even that there was like a sense of like hate in the house or anything like that. It was just more there was no education. So I didn't even know what pansexuality was. I didn't even know what bisexuality was. Wow. I just kind of thought it was, okay, so you're gay or straight.
Yeah.
And because I still felt attraction to men, I kind of used that as a crutch of, well, there is no way that I can be attracted to women because I'm attracted to men.
Yeah.
So then as soon as I learned what actual bisexuality was, that's when I was like, ooh, okay, this is troubling. Now there's an actual label for me and it's not the norm for my community. And I don't know, but obviously I still can't say that my experience is the same as a lesbian.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like even when I was struggling with coming to terms with my sexuality, I still was, in heterosexual relationships.
Yeah.
Whereas a lesbian wouldn't experience that. You'd have to deal your entire life with the fact that you don't feel attracted to...
Yeah, see, I have to say, for me as a lesbian woman, I never was really attracted to men. I don't want to say I tried to make myself be, but it was like, if a boy liked me, I'd be like, oh, my boy likes me, like, because obviously all my friends are like, oh, boys like me, so
yeah, exactly,
like, I'm just like them, that's so fun. But then when I actually realised, I think I was in year 8 at the time, that like I liked women, and that was my way forward. Immediately, even though my family were never homophobic and I grew up around gay people and I'd had that representation, my initial like thought was that like as soon as I turn 18 I'm gonna run away and go live the secret gay life so I can be happy and not have to deal with any prejudices or any type of discrimination. Because even though I didn't think my family would be like ashamed or have any type of hate towards me, I couldn't bear having to have the conversation and just the potential for them to feel a different type of way.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm no different at all.
Yeah.
I'm still their daughter. I'm still exactly who I was the minute before I told them.
Yeah.
So I just never wanted to have that like change.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people feel that even though they feel like their family aren't homophobic, they don't want their family to look at them weird. Because I feel like being a woman of colour, I'm from like Caribbean heritage.
Yeah.
Caribbeans, they can be very like just it is what it is.
Yeah.
When it comes to like gay people in their family, like the gay person's there, that's fine. We don't talk about it. And that is, I feel like that's a running theme.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people that I've come in contact with who are also gay and Caribbean, they have that same, yes, I'm gay and I'm out, but not with my family. With my family, I'm just like, just let it lay low. I'll be me without the gay. And I feel like that is a big thing.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like...
No, fair enough. I mean, it's kind of similar, yet it's not, because obviously I'm Latina and African, so it's from either side. Yeah. We don't really talk about it either.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, it's interesting because exactly the same. Like when I'm with my family, we don't explicitly talk about it, even though it's kind of just, you know, everyone just knows.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not, we don't really speak about it, which I don't know if I actually prefer.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would rather no one really like treat me differently than someone treat me differently because now they know.
And then it's always like, oh, so you're still gay.
Fun. Exactly. Yeah. But like my parents, they've been incredibly like just supportive through the entire journey.
Well, that's amazing.
I mean, at first they were a little bit reluctant because again, this is the fault of like not proper education when it comes to sexuality, because they had a completely different view of what bisexuality was. They thought it meant like polyamory. So when I came out, they were like, oh, so you and I was like, no. Nothing wrong with that, but that is not me. So it you need to educate people, but obviously because they're from a different generation, they didn't really understand it fully. But once they did, like, incredibly supportive. The way they act around my partner, like, they're completely normal and just really
that's so nice.
I don't know, understanding, I guess, about this. Like, it's not even that they treated it differently, like, they just treated it the exact same as if I was in a heterosexual relationship. They just didn't change their... I don't know if I'm waffling, but you get what I mean.
Like... that is nice. See, I've had experiences where I'll meet people and like it's immediate no. Like, leave, no. And obviously I will respect that person's space and go, that's perfectly fine. But that shouldn't be the initial reaction anymore. Like, people should be more educated on gay people and queer people, and we're no different at all. Like, we're just trying to live our life, build up ourselves, earn money and be successful, and that is it. And that's what everyone else is doing. So I feel like the stigma shouldn't be there anymore. But I do feel like, obviously, as we've said, with different queer people facing different issues, I feel like that is why it's so important to have different queer spaces. So I feel like if some people would look at like having the LGBTQIA society and the Sapphic society and think, are they not just like
the same
gay people just be but no, it's a completely different struggle. I feel like that's why we need to have those spaces. Because when I first came to university, I don't know how you felt with it, but when I first came and I went to the LGBTQIA society, I really enjoyed being in that space and being surrounded with people where I didn't have to hide anything about myself. I could literally say anything. And I've barely ever been in a space like that, and it just be accepted, and it was so nice. But at the same time, there wasn't many people in that room which shared a similar experience to me.
Exactly,
Because there is a lot of representation in that. There is trans representation, there is non-binary, there is gay, straight, all of it from each side of the spectrum. But I felt when I went to the Sapphic Society, and I am still in both, I will say, I love them both. When I went to the Sapphic Society, it was like all of us shared the same stereotypes. Yep. We shared the same prejudices in a way, and the same, I like a girl, and it's just like a whole like feeling in the stomach, and it was like you could say the weirdest like lesbian things, and it was just like yes, and it just felt amazing.
Even when we had that little like mini gossips, it wasn't even a gossip section, it was just like somebody sharing their experiences with like a situationship, and we all just sat around them, just like giving them advice, and I was like, oh, this is what it's about.
Is literally lesbian, you know? It's beautiful. We literally all sat in a circle and just like
giving this poor girl advice. But that's literally what was the point of creating Sapphic Sock. You know, when the president and I was literally like, when she asked me, no, I want to create a society, I was like, this is an excellent idea, because even though, you know, again, I'm the treasurer of LGBT Stock, but it's not, there isn't like a huge, what's the word? It's very generalized, you know, it's a space for queer people. Yeah. But sometimes you do just need that community of like people that are similar, having similar experiences to you, people who have like similar, I don't know, interests, similar, definitely. You know, even like the references that we all know, like they're going to be different. So when we were creating it, it was just, it just, one of the main points that I made was we're one of the only societies that doesn't have separate societies for each like sexuality. Yeah. So creating a Sapphic Sock isn't like a very different thing. You know, most societies do have separate societies for separate sexualities. Yeah. But, you know, in this case, it's exactly like you said, it was just a space for queer women. Yeah. To, you know, just talk to each other. Yeah. Like, it's like, you get what I mean.
Yeah. It was very, yes. I definitely agree. I feel like having the Sapphic Society offered a different end to a queer space, which is amazing. And I'm very excited to see what is done with that. Obviously, I am the treasurer, so I feel like I'll get to see it from a different point of view of maybe some other people, but I'm very excited to see where that goes. I wanted to mention the figures, trailblazing figures from in history that have made it so we as queer people can go about our daily life and not have to worry about certain prejudices. Yeah. I did want to first start by talking about Marsha P. Johnson. Yep. I've seen before I did some research, I was quite ignorant towards her work, so I will say that before anything else. But I've seen that she actually, I want to say she. Let me go they. Just in case. I want to. They were an absolutely amazing figure. One of the first people on the front lines towards the Stonewall riots, and created Star House, which was like a safe space for queer teenagers and homeless teens. And I feel like a lot of people like to forget about our history, or not forget, but don't want to pay tribute to the people who came before us. Yeah. And it's like when we have certain queer people that won't support trans rights. Yeah. But that's, a person could only have that thought because they've not even nearly gone down into our history. And it's like, you have the gall to call yourself a queer person and you are trying to disgrace someone who all they did was fight for you to be here, and to even like, it's just mind-boggling.
Hold hands in public. Yeah. Like, you know, exactly.
Even literally down to walking down the road, hold hands, kiss on a bridge. All of these things you can only do because a trans person fought for your rights. Yep. And I feel like a lot of people just like to keep going and forget about the past. But I find it's really good to go back into your past, to pay tribute to the people that got you where you are, so that you can appreciate how lucky that we are to be able to be gay and 100. Out and proud, even though sometimes it's a bit awkward and sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know if I can be gay in these spaces. Yep. But it's like we have the potential to be gay everywhere now. Yeah. And it's just beautiful. Yeah. I feel like I would like to personally say thank you to Marsha P. Johnson for making me able to even just go outside with my girlfriend and feel comfortable telling my family about her, and just
100%. No, I think when I first read about her work, it was more, I was just really, really fascinated by the fact that, you know, with all the violence that happens, especially towards Black trans women, it can be really overlooked how what's the word? Just like how important these figures actually are to our history, you know, because as much as, you know, movements like Black Lives Matter, you know, they're the idea of that comes from a bunch of other people, you know, fighting and fighting and fighting for their rights, you know, like the idea of protesting and demanding for something that we all should, you know, have the right to. That comes from a very, very, I don't know, queer background, you know. Even the person I wanted to talk about, Angela Davis, like I told you, like she was she was a Black Panther member, which was at the time of like a communist group, but also a little bit more of like, is it Black supremacy?
Yeah, I
don't think they were Black supremacists, were they? I'm not sure now. But point is, it's
maybe not supremacy. Maybe I want to say like fighting for the power of Black people.
That was it. Yes,
basically against oppression.
Exactly. And her major thing was during the war on drugs. You know, there was a lot of just negative propaganda going into Black communities, basically saying, you know, like these people, they're the ones who are creating this issue around drugs, when really the entire time it was being siphoned through bigger powers to destabilize destabilize Black neighborhoods. So, you know, but even that, you know, that is a queer woman who stand at the front lines of the issue and, you know, defended herself in court. She didn't have a lawyer, she defended herself. Wrote multiple books about the issues. She created intersectionality before it was even like a very coined term, where, you know, it was just talking more about like, yes, I'm Black, but I'm also a woman and I'm also queer. So we need to always recognize that there's people out there who, you know, have fought their entire lives for things that now people are kind of ignorant to or that they underestimate. I don't know. I don't think you can really fully understand or be grateful for what you're able to do unless you understand what others weren't able to do.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I feel like we always have to keep in mind the things that people have done for us so we can truly appreciate how lucky we are to have what we have today. Obviously, we are definitely still working towards better things. We're still moving forward, we're still growing, but amazing things have been done so far to put us where we are. We always need to look back to give thanks. Then I feel like we should go on to media.
Yes.
And I would like to start by saying heated rivalry.
Yep.
As I have said, I will say I liked it. As a lesbian woman, it's quite nice. Season two, it was there. It was there. Like, I just really liked it. It was like, I want you, but I can't have you. But I'll have you in secret though. Okay.
But this is why I said to you earlier, like, we should have a lesbian version.
Yeah.
But now let's get into why that would not work. Because I feel like with heated rivalry in specific, the audience that it was aimed to, it probably just was aimed towards, you know, like male queer audiences. Yeah. But it had a massive boom in straight women.
Yes.
So I think the major discussion that has happened in between, you know, like having a lesbian version of something similar is majorly because the audience that primarily watches TV would probably not be too interested about a lesbian story. And we've seen that pattern through most queer media, specifically lesbian media, where we'll have a season and then it'll get cancelled, or we'll have a lesbian character and they'll die.
I feel like there's been so many times I've been interested in a storyline or in a certain show and it's just got cancelled purely off the lack of interest in the lesbian media. And I feel like it's really upsetting that certain shows just don't succeed because they aren't what everyone wants to see. But I feel like when people actually cater towards the lesbian community or towards the queer female community, it doesn't succeed as well because it's not like the mass of the community.
And sometimes it's catered towards men.
And I feel like a lot of the time you'll find a show that actually is doing well, and it's just catered towards men, and it's just what a male would think a lesbian relationship is like. And that is just not what we want to see. That's not true to us. That's not reality. That it's just not interesting.
No, 100%. I think even for like young queer people, like some of the first media they're being exposed to are not media made by queer women. You know, they're not like accurate representations of what an actual lesbian relationship looks like. So it's very difficult to, I don't know, promote something like a lesbian version of heated rivalry when unfortunately we have so many examples of when that has not worked, and sometimes it's not even through lack of interest, because lesbians will always watch lesbians. Like we are a huge and very, very loud community.
The amount of terrible shows I have hung on to purely on there was a lesbian in there.
Grey's Anatomy, why did I watch so much of it?
No, I made it all the way to like season 20.
Fair enough. You made it further than me. I got bored very, very quickly. But even shows like, I remember like I started watching the 100 because someone told me, oh, there's a queer, there's a lesbian couple in it, and I was like, okay, cool, this is my stuff. They die. So oh, spoiler alert. That's not very good.
No, we don't know the name. It's fine.
It's okay.
Yes. It's fine.
Let's just move on. I'm sorry for spoiling, guys.
One of my favourite shows, it's not like a outwardly queer show. It's I want to say One Day at a Time. It's about this Latina family, mom, grandmother, daughter, queer daughter and son, and the daughter isn't out until about the second or third season, and you see her go through going out. You see her going. She has a quinces, and sorry for the butchering of that pronunciation.
No, that's okay.
And her dad walks out and doesn't do her dance with her, and you see her mum and her whole family crowd around her, and they all dance together, and you see her get a partner, and it's beautiful. And you see her fight for queer rights, and it was amazing. And then season 3 cancelled, gone, and that whole story was actually what gave me the strength to come out to my mum. Like I'd randomly drop little like, oh, this happened today, and it was so, I just thought it was like, felt like me, and it just made me feel comfortable speaking to my mum about it. And then obviously show went. I did still come out eventually.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well,
I mean, how was that? How was that experience of,
I guess, coming out?
Yeah, if that's okay for me to ask.
So I actually really like my story because it wasn't much of a story. It's very weird. I had Rihanna as my lock screen.
Okay.
Cozy Rihanna.
I was gonna say,
guys.
Very good of you.
Like Rihanna, and then I'm just stood in my granddad's kitchen, and my auntie sees, and she's like, "Oh, what's that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Rihanna." She's like, "What? Are you gay?" And I was like, "Yes."
Oh, gag.
Because I never wanted to lie.
Yeah.
And if someone asked me, because I know I could, and they've all been around gay people to the point they're not just gonna start like abusing me.
Yeah.
I knew that
beating you up.
Yeah, like I knew that much. So it's like, yeah. And then she didn't ask really any follow-up questions. She was like, oh, cool. That's okay. And then like a month later we're at a family party, and I'm talking about how I can't wash clothes. Out of nowhere, she just blindsides me. She's like, what? So you're gay and you can't wash clothes? To the whole family. I'm like,
she kind of clocked you there. She kind of clocked you.
No, because then everyone was like, Olivia, you're gay. And I was like, yeah, I'm gay, guys. But I can sometimes wash clothes. Like,
how did she diss you and broadcast your business to everyone at the same time?
No, like, I was just catching strays left and right. And at that point, my cousin, who's she's out now, but I knew she was gay and no one else in the family knew.
Gotcha.
Because we had our own little coming out to each other, like a sleepover. Aww. And we were literally, and I was like, guys, I think I'm gay. And then she was just like, oh my God, Olivia, me too. And it felt so amazing. And then we were just like spoke about it. And then we have one other cousin, and she's not gay, but she was like supportive of it.
That's so
beautiful.
Sweet.
Yeah, but in that moment when my auntie practically outed me, I was hoping that now my cousin's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gay as well. No. So I was just like, yeah, so just me gay, guys. Only Olivia gay. Everyone else. But yeah, it was And then my dad, he found out because we went for a meal and he was asking about relationships, and I was like, yeah, I have a girlfriend.
Fair.
And he was just like, oh yeah, I'd love to meet her. And I was just, yeah, cool.
Wait, slay.
Yeah.
No, I love hearing like supportive coming out stories.
Yeah.
Because it just makes me really depressed when they're not. So
yeah,
that's really sweet.
Because I could never imagine that for me. I feel my heart goes out to all the people that don't have a positive story. And obviously, it's not very nice to have to go through, because obviously coming out, that's already a hard thing to do, to bring yourself to acceptance of you are that person, you are a queer person, and now you've got to say it and you've got to be it and you've got to live it, and it's like to be met with unkind words is never nice.
100%.
Can I ask, what was your coming out story?
No, that's okay. I feel like mine was really nonchalant.
Yeah.
I will be honest, because it was just, I went up to my parents, and at this point, like, I thought they already knew, but also, like, I kind of knew that they didn't. Okay. So I just went up to them, I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to prom with my girlfriend. And they were like, girl, who? And I was like, my girlfriend, you know, the girl that's always here. But they just was like, oh, okay. So what does that mean? I'm like, I'm bi. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's literally the whole conversation. Like, it was literally just, I'm going to prom with my girlfriend. And they were very confused. They're just like, what do you mean girlfriend? But yeah, not very exciting. After that, it was just, they would kindly just say, but you're gay. And I'm like, no, guys, no, I'm bi.
Yeah.
And then my sister came out.
Oh, wow.
And when she came out, my mum was like, oh, like, you're just setting the example now, like, everyone's just gonna turn out gay. And I was like, okay, I really wish they do turn out gay now, just to get back at you. Just yeah, there. Exactly. Yeah. And then my other sister came out.
Oh, she hit the trifecta.
My poor parents, but they did it to themselves. They shouldn't have said that to me. I cursed it.
No, you see, I remember I was on the phone with my mum the other week, and she was like, I'm about to talk about my little sister. She's 10 years old.
Yeah.
And my mum was like, yeah, your sister's told me she's bi and all her friends are bi. I was like, oh my gosh, really? Oh my gosh, like, little bisexual babe. And then I came home and I was like, oh, so what's this here about you being bisexual? She's like, yeah, I'm bisexual. I was like, okay, like, and she just felt so like, I don't know why I keep doing it. It's adding to, like,
it's okay.
Yeah, she just, I'm happy she felt comfortable just like, just out of nowhere saying that to my mum. And I feel like, because of how I am with my, like, queerness or my gayness at home, there's never been, like, a stigma with it. Like, this is going to be very random, but I have 2 female dogs. Yeah. They hump each other a lot. Not a lot.
Okay.
They my sister calls them lesbians.
Okay.
But my mum was like, no, Alyssa, don't give them any labels. And then my sister went on to say that, like, one of them just used to get humped, but now they take turns. And then I was like, yeah, she used to be a pillow princess, but now she's a switch. And everyone was just like, yeah, they just have so much fun. And this is just in the kitchen with my family, like.
And do they know what, like, pillow princess and switches are?
Well, I think so. My mum was like, Alivia, no.
Okay,
so
fair.
I think so, a little bit.
Because my parents would not know that much terminology.
Yeah.
Not only are they, like, terribly foreign, like, they just would not know that much terminology.
A lot of my because of a lot of my cousins that were, like, my age, they were in the room. So, like, they clocked on.
Gotcha.
So, and my sister, she's very, like, in tune with the TikTok side.
Gotcha.
Of, like, yeah. So, like, people understood. My mum was just like, Olivia, let's just not do this.
Just don't indoctrinate her dogs.
No, obviously, no labels, never a label. But I just thought it was so jokes.
Fair enough. No, I think it's really interesting when it comes to, like, especially, like, people from, like, different backgrounds. Because, you know, I think sometimes we forget, like, the reality of what it is like to be queer. You know, like, when you're looking at, so the other day I realized that, like, my partner and I would never be able to go to each other's countries.
Yeah.
Because if I was to take her to Africa, like, it's illegal to be gay in Africa. If she was to take me to Jamaica, it's illegal to be gay in Jamaica. And we literally sat there and, like, well, would it be bad in a resort or anything like that? But, like, we just would not try it. Yeah. Because it's not safe. So it's moments like that where you really start to realise that, like, wow, there's more. Yeah, you know?
There's a lot more.
We're kind of living in a bubble here where, you know, we can hold hands whenever we want, but, like, there's a very, very sad reality where in everywhere else, there's huge limitations and actual danger. So I don't know, because we spoke about this earlier.
Yeah.
You were saying about your holiday.
Yeah. See, me and my friends, obviously, as I said, me, my girlfriend, and one of my mask presenting friends, we are planning on going on holiday, and we, like, the amount of places we just have no, because we are all black women, we are all queer women. We have to keep in mind that we have to be safe. We have to make sure we're not going to get racially abused. We're not going to get sexually harassed or discriminated against or anything like that, because all we want is a nice holiday and we want to enjoy ourselves. We don't want to feel like out of place, and even to the point of like maybe nothing bad will happen, but we also don't want to go out and say I'm holding my girlfriend's hands and now we're getting stares. I don't want anything like that. I want to be able to kiss my girlfriend on the beach, and that's perfectly fine. Because that is who I am, and that's who I want to be able to be on holiday. And I feel like that does take a lot of places out of the world off of where I can visit. And obviously I do see I am lucky enough to live in England and to live where I do with so much acceptance that like the holiday thought, it is kind of a secondary thought, but it is still a very big thing for queer women. And like, I'm from Caribbean background, and so is my girlfriend, so we could not go back to the Caribbean and be just openly outwardly gay. It would never work. Unless things were to change, it wouldn't be met with kind words, it wouldn't be met with comfort.
But 100%. That's why as well that I like the fact that we do so many student curator projects, the fact that we actually like talk about these situations at universities, because at the end of the day, like, not only is there a lot of international students who perhaps they, you know, it's not even like take these ideas back with them, like that's such a crazy thing to say, but it's more just, you know, like education is what kind of like brings down that stigma that surrounds queer people. Because we should have the ability to travel the world with our partner without having to worry about, you know, like any dangerous situations coming out of it. And I think a lot of it comes just from a place of ignorance, you know, like there is other reasons for people to like not agree with it, but the to go to the extra step to, you know, like harm queer people, you know, like the queer violence in America, with like black trans women, like all of that, it just comes from a place of, you know, you like the education to what's the word, just even if you don't agree with it, but also just not go to the extra step to you know,
to go against it.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, like, I might not agree with your beliefs, but it's not going to be any different to how I treat you as a person. You know, it just might mean that, you know, certain situations we might just avoid different topics, or, you know, but I don't know, it's I think it's really important to have these conversations, because I think especially with our generation, the more we talk about it, the more normalized it gets, because with our parents' generation, it really wasn't like
never
that.
Talked about,
Whereas now we are so comfortable talking about it, which is why we are able to walk around the street and hold hands with our partners without constantly getting stared at.
No, I definitely agree. I feel like the best thing that we ever did was start the conversation. Always have that open context of we are here, we are queer, and we're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
And if someone was to have a question about it, ask me a question. I'm here. I'm human. I'll answer a question, as long as you're not openly disrespectful, as long as you're not just asking me something to get a laugh with you and your friends. Then ask me a question. That's perfect. I don't mind answering. But don't just have the thing of like, ill, gay, I don't want it, and now I'm moving on. Because we will never get anywhere with that. 100%.
I think there is more to human connection than just, you know, the things that, you know, differentiate us. You know, there is a lot more. We can have a conversation with somebody and still disagree with their beliefs, and you know, still have a good conversation with that person and treat them like human beings. So I don't know, it's a really important thing for me to like continue to always talk about it, because I'm hoping that one day it does mean that I can travel without having to worry, and it does mean that I can go into the street and, you know, not worry, or even other people within my community also talk to them about it, and it won't be looked down upon. But
well, this has been absolutely amazing.
You're so wonderful.
I feel like we've discussed a lot of good things, a lot of different sides to the queer community, and it's been amazing having you on, Denise.
It's been amazing being here. No.
I
don't really know what to say as the closing words.
There's just anything else you wanted to add. That's fine.
Love the gays.
Yes, love the gays.
Love the gays. Cool. That's my closing statement.
Yay. Well, thank you all for listening, and this was Stag Studios.
Thanks.
That's a wrap.
Oh my god.
That actually felt good.
I have a lecture in 5 minutes, guys.
Oh wow.